Team Struggle Town. But we're going to see how far we get from there. If you are needing points, you are more than welcome to the whole donation thing. I'm trying to support it. You can either do the food drive or the hygiene drive or both if you're wanting up to 30 points. The food drive, each food item you bring in, either canned or box, is worth 3 points, and you can bring up to 5 of them, and that is up to you. It can be macaroni and cheese, canned things. You can bring ramen, but ramen things are only worth 1 point because they're kind of small, but you can bring in ramen for a point, so you can bring in like 15 of those if you want. The hygiene items are things like toothpaste, toothbrushes, deodorant, I don't know, things that make you not stink as much, soap. And so it goes until, I believe, Thanksgiving. And so you can bring them in anytime you want to get points as far as that. Bring them to me. Do not drop them off somewhere. Because if they don't go to me, I won't see them and you won't get the points. Also, realize if you get a Simpson sheet from me, you cannot bring in stuff to get out of the Simpson sheet. So once you end up getting yourself in enough trouble that you have to do a Simpson sheet, you can't get out of it by bringing stuff in. You can bring stuff in and add to the Simpson sheet, but not get out of the Simpson sheet. Jade.
Is Taylor sitting there?
Yes.
Where is Taylor?
Not there.
Can I
Burmy.
So,
Still no.
does it have to be like empty cans or like?
Full of food to give to people who are hungry.
Oh my god.
Empty.
Oh, bet I got a bunch of them.
It's a food
Why would you
drive.
say empty can?
Well, I didn't know where it was going to go. So I
Home
just
children, if you're missing homework, then we'll make you stand again tomorrow. You guys, let's give you a chance to do votey vote. You are welcome to vote for 1, 2, or all 3 of them, I guess, if you wanted to. When you raise hand, raise it high enough that I can see it, or you're out of luck. The first one about allergy to water. Done.
Wait, okay.
And the Twitch streamer. Okay.
Hey, we really like violence.
Just wait.
And the fight and violence.
I already know about that. Bro, we love violence.
Hey, this
You can't stop us.
She goes into.
No, because the allergy water one, I've already seen that, and I don't care about Taylor. What's up your leg?
Well, apparently we're going to be doing the thing about fights tomorrow because that was the one that seemed to win. Almost everyone except for one class period that I had voted for water. But all of my other class periods voted for fighting because apparently kids like fighting.
Nobody likes food.
So Shadow Club, home children, and these children, we are starting on page...
141.
Oh no, today's the last
Top of
day.
page 147. This is the last day I read out loud to you, so
We're gonna have to read all the way to 200.
try to get through as
It's
much
actually
of it as you
199.
can.
I know some people aren't gonna read.
Oh yes, I
We
do.
did 190.
Let's see. Again, your checkpoint is reading through end of book. We will talk about end of book and some other things on Monday, and then we'll do tests on Tuesday because I hate doing Monday tests because that seems mean. See from there. So we got pass. So again, home children 147 at the top of the page, and then we'll go to let's see, boom boom, boom Jackson.
I feel 148. Cause like, you like.
Yeah, we're on 148 the next time.
Did we get to
Oh
148?
yeah.
Oh, we did. I apologize. I was looking at the wrong one on there. Top of page 148. You are correct. I apologize. Boom Boom, Dead Fish. Who is it that's on the bike?
Vera.
It is correct, Vera, and she's the one that goes careening. And then we find out she does not die. She just hits her head, apparently,
Who dies?
since she only has the 2
No.
brain cells.
Dang
It's
it.
fine.
Yes, they do.
Who gets into the fight and yells in the hallway?
Oh,
Jared and Tyson.
Nicely done.
You must have
Jared
raised
and
the
Tyson. Phone booth, phone booth, phone booth, phone booth. What is it Jared yells down the hallway after Tyson?
Bedwetter.
And then what happens with the uniform?
He got Gopher's on the uniform.
So what does Jared do about it?
He
Fight.
punches. Tries to.
Violence.
Nicely done. Attacking and
Oh, they
fighting.
look like
I don't
they're
think
ready to
Jared
break out.
can fight Hamilton.
We talked about this at the very beginning of the year when Austin goes running across the whole field.
Yeah.
In the back, we're going to come back to that here in just one moment. Hang on a second. I got to pause this.
She did not go to the bathroom.
Let's see. So we go to reading 148. Where is it? There we go. The next big. Oh yeah. So we had left off, by the way, with a horrible thing happening to Jared from Austin, and then Jared saying, I hope Tyson was watching and gets Austin next. I hope Tyson pulls a terrible trick so mean that Austin never gets over it, which implies what's getting ready to happen.
Yeah, goofy eye.
Oh, just.
Yep.
Oh, that's gonna happen.
There you go. So what would you call that when they give you the little clues in the story about a thing that's getting ready to happen?
Foreshadow!
Just making sure. What's up, Mac? Yeah, see you at the end of class. The next
No,
victim.
I need it
End of
now.
class.
Yeah, okay. I'm just not doing it right now.
Oh my god.
Morning came after a lousy night of nightmares. Dreams about my parents turning into gophers. Dreams about being stepped on by a 60-foot tall Austin Pace and huge white arrowheads. Dreams about being trapped in a fish tank that was about to explode. Nasty stuff. I woke up with a headache. My parents could tell that something was bugging me, but when they asked what it was, I didn't tell them about the pranks and about Tyson. I simply told them, as I always did, that Austin Pace was the problem. Him again? Said my father before we left for work. Oh, don't worry about him. Austin Paces are a dime a dozen, but there's only one Jared Mercer. He smiled and mussed up my hair with his hand, which I used to like before I discovered the importance of the hairbrush. Don't let him get to you, said my mom, which was easy to say but hard to live by. Dad, I said as he was about to leave. For a split second, I felt like telling both of them everything about the Shadow Club. What we did, how we were being framed, everything. But no, what kind of club president would I be if I told my parents? Forget it. I'll see you tonight. My father left, and I went off to school. If I could have told them, it could have ended right there, but I guess I just didn't have sense enough to do that. I had to get sense knocked into me the hard way. As I crossed the field on my way to school that Friday morning, I saw Austin running his morning laps in his arrowheads, as he did every stupid little morning of his stupid little life. I wouldn't look at him. I looked up, I looked down, I looked at the grass, the sky, the bleachers, anything but Austin. And because I was so intent on not looking at him, I ended up tripping over some sharp, jagged rocks sticking out of the ground in the middle of the field. Wonderful, I thought. Now Austin's going to laugh at me for tripping over my own feet. He didn't, though. He kept on running and ignored me. I got off the field as fast as I could without making it look like I was hurrying. As I entered the school, it began to hit me that there were only two unbeatables left to be hit by Tyson, Austin and Rebecca. That's when Cheryl came up to me. There you are. I have been looking all over for you. She looked at my hands. What happened to you? I looked down at them. They were scratched up a bit from when I'd fallen in the field. Oh, I tripped, that's all. Well, I've been on Tyson patrol. I think the whole club should take shifts watching him. Where is he? I don't know. I haven't seen him yet. That's when something clicked inside my head. Something dark and scary began to come into clear focus. It began slowly. First, I looked at my hands again, at the scratches. Those rocks I'd tripped over weren't there the day before. They couldn't have been. What were such sharp rocks doing buried in the middle of the field anyway? Wait, the middle of the field? Oh, no. Oh, no! Cheryl must have seen it in my eyes. What's the matter? Austin! We have to stop Austin! I turned and ran, sprinting down the hall, knocking kids and teachers, running at my top speed to the exit. Far behind me, I could hear Cheryl calling my name, but I didn't have time to stop. I may have already been too late. I burst through the double doors, knocking down two kids. Austin! I screamed as I ran, for as well as I knew that those rocks hadn't been there the day before, I also knew that Austin sprinted across the center of that oval field once every single day, barefoot. Everyone knew he did it, but I was the only one who knew about the rocks. Only I could stop him. I ran out from between the bleachers in time to see Austin race across the grass, barefoot, leaving his arrowheads far behind as he headed toward the rocks. Of all of the mixed up feelings inside of me, one thing was certain. I wanted with all my heart to stop Austin from running through that minefield of razor-sharp stones. Austin! Austin, stop! But he wouldn't. He would never stop in the middle of a race. I ran through the grass to try to catch him, but I wasn't fast enough. I just wasn't fast enough. All I could do was watch as he hit the rocks. First, his left foot fell onto them, and it broke his perfect stride. He tried to keep his balance, and that's when his right foot came down on them. He slid, and then an instant later, he was flying through the air, forced head over heels by the tremendous speed of his own body. I went to him and almost had to turn away from what I saw. It was horrible. Austin had hit the worst of the rocks in the worst of ways. The soles of both his feet had been gashed open. His left foot seemed twisted in a nasty position. Austin saw them and began to scream. No, no, my feet! My feet, my feet, my feet! Over and over again. I could see the pain was just beginning to set in. I knelt before him. There was blood everywhere. I didn't know what to do. My feet, no, 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 my feet, anything but my feet. I took off my shirt and pressed it against one foot to hold back the bleeding. He yelled, ow, my ankle is broken. My ankle's broken, my ankle. Eden, what's your issue?
So, like, what was he doing? Was he trying to, like, kill himself or something? What was he doing?
What are you talking about?
No, why did you run onto the rocks? I'm so confused.
Obviously, he didn't know
He was running barefoot.
He didn't know that they were there, and Tyson probably did it. And
Remember, he runs across this field every day barefoot to show off how fast he is. And someone put a bunch of rocks in the middle of it. And so that's when Austin went running
I
across
thought
it.
he was gonna die.
No, not yet.
How'd you
I
not
haven't
see
done
that?
the book yet.
oh, spoiler! I'm
that?
charging you points.
Oh, wrong direction.
Watch spoiler. I don't know spoiler.
Mr. Brovian.
Why didn't you add
You
blood?
have a lunch attention. You've been losing a lot of B-points lately.
Mr.
Okay.
Brovian,
Huh?
why didn't you add blood?
I thought that might be too much for some.
Because he's ouchie.
Yes, ouchie. So I'm right to go for this. Not my feet! He cried. My shirt began to turn red. It's all right, I said, even though I knew it wasn't all right. You'll be fine. Then he looked at me, and I'm pretty sure that was the first time he realized it was me helping him. Gopher, my feet, my feet! By now, other kids began to gather around, and teachers were running out from the school. Hey, give me a shirt, I demanded, and 3 kids tossed me their shirts. I pressed one of them to Austin's other foot. My feet, he mumbled through his tears. You'll be all right. No, you don't understand. My father wants me to go to the Olympics. I have to go. He's counting on me. I have
Just
to.
wait 6
I
months.
have to run. Austin's face was getting redder and redder from his tears. I've been training for years. Next year, I'm getting a private coach. My feet. If I can't run, if my feet are... He looked down at them. No! What will I do? What will I do? What will I tell my father? He's going to kill me. My ankle, it hurts. He'll kill me. What will I do? Austin broke down and just cried like a baby
That makes
until it
sense.
almost made me cry. In a moment, Mr. Diller, our principal, came and carried Austin to the nurse's office. I was about to follow, but first I ran to the tip of the oval, picking up Austin's arrowheads and brought them along.
That's what I was talking about, Mr. Diller.
Yes,
He's the principal.
yes.
But what about Mr. Green?
He's the assistant principal.
You guys
Mr.
said there was
Green
no
says-
teacher with the letter D starting.
Yeah, you guys did
he's
that.
the one
I
that said
totally
he's
forgot
the
about
one
Mr.
who
Diller.
said
I
it was
apologize.
shadow, yeah.
He doesn't play a big
That's why I
role.
was
so-
confused because I thought they were both the principals.
Gotcha. No, you are correct. I was wrong on that one. That was me.
You're always
Wait,
wrong.
so someone put the rocks there? Okay.
Probably Tyson.
Wait, say
So
like
they
say
think
that
that
thing
Tyson is
where it's
pulling
like
these
one of us
rings?
is right and
Okay.
one of us is you.
Eden.
One of us is right and one of us is you.
Basically, why, if he broke his ankles, why can't he just wait 6 months? It's not gonna like ruin his whole
Because
entire
It slows down the training. I think that their thing is coming up soon.
Yeah.
So I think he can heal. He's not dead
It's
from
a
it.
school thing. Those don't really matter.
No,
that
but
much.
he's training for the Olympics, which is not a school thing. Like the
we
Olympics.
just read?
Olympics. Yeah, just
Isn't he
Olympics.
like 14 slow?
My father, whatever Austin had done to me in the past, whatever humiliation he had ever rubbed my nose in, he didn't deserve this. I mean, he was Olympics bound. Running was his life. It wasn't my life. For me, running was something I could do that I liked doing. For Austin, it was even more important. His feet would need stitches. But worse than that, his ankle would take months to heal. Who knew how long it'd be till he could run again, if ever? Sure, now I was fastest on the team, but all at once, I didn't care anymore. Believe it or not, I cared more about Austin's feet. I followed Austin and Mr. Diller to the nurse's office and watched as they tended to Austin's feet until they shut the door. Still, I could hear his sobs. I stood there for at least 5 minutes without realizing I had no shirt on. My shirt was ruined now, but there was another shirt in my backpack, my track team gopher shirt. I put that on and then sat outside the door. Soon, Cheryl showed up and the nurse suggested that I go on to class, but I refused. I let Cheryl go. I waited. Finally, the nurse let me in the office to keep Austin company while she called his parents. Inside, it smelled like alcohol and blood. Austin's feet were all wrapped up now. The white gauze was the same color as his arrowheads. They had splinted the broken one. I still held his arrowheads, and I placed them on the chair next to him. "Thanks for helping me, Jared," he said, his eyes still a bit wet. I smiled. That was the first time he'd called me Jared all year. "It's okay. I'm sorry about what happened. I guess I've been a real snot to you." "Yeah, it's okay though. I guess it's because I'm real competitive, you know? My father says it's good to be competitive. I don't know. I guess all those years, you were the only one who came close to being as fast as me. It scared me. It was like if one person could come close to beating me, then I wasn't good enough for the Olympics." He looked at me. I just listened. I guess we could have been real great friends if I gave you the chance." I nodded, and Austin looked at his bandaged feet. His eyes began to tear again, and his face turned red. "I'm never going to the Olympics now, am I?" His tears rolled right off his face and onto the gauze. I sat with him until his mother arrived to take him to the hospital. News had spread to the school at light speed, and by the time I got to class, everyone was buzzing about what had happened to Austin. It didn't take long for people to figure out that it wasn't just an accident. I was so blown away by the whole thing, I didn't even think about looking for Tyson. I was so spaced out by it that I didn't even realize until lunch I was the prime suspect. And then this guy comes back. Achoo.
Ooh, why does he look like that? His eyes are like.
Jay.
Well, what is it got disgusting?
I have a question. What's an arrow? Whatever it's called.
Arrowhead? It's a made-up shoe that's supposed to be like super expensive. I didn't do it! I screamed into Mr. Green's face. I'd never screamed into a teacher's face before, but now I couldn't control myself. It was 6th period, just after lunch, and Green had called me out of class to go to his office so he could accuse me of planting those rocks for Austin to fall on. "I don't believe you," he said, standing in front of his desk. "I swear I didn't." "No? So it was just a coincidence that you were there when it happened?" "Right. And it was just a coincidence that you had a big fight with Austin yesterday." "It wasn't big." "I'm
Why
aware.
did he his face?
And I suppose I'll wait till I get done.
I caught it before it touched the ground.
And I suppose you're going to tell me that you and your club had nothing to do with Vera's bike, or David's trumpet, or Drew's fish tank?
Yes.
Right! Come off it, Jared! He pounded his desk. He was so sure he was right, it scared me. Oh, it took me a while, but I found out exactly who's in your club. And you know what? Everyone in your club has a grudge against the very people who have been victims of this terrorism. That's right. We're being framed. Framed. By whom? By Tyson McGaw. Green wasn't ready for that. It took a few seconds for it to sink in, and then he said, "If you think you're going to foist the blame on Tyson, but it's true! Tyson wouldn't do that. I know he wouldn't. But we have a witness." "Who?" "Ralphie Sherman. He saw Tyson blow up the fish tank." "Yeah?" "Ralphie Sherman also says that his mother had puppies. Do you expect me to believe a thing Ralphie Sherman says? It's the truth! Why don't you bring Tyson in here and you can accuse him like you're accusing me?" "Because," said Green with nasty sarcasm in his voice, "Tyson didn't come to school today, Jared. Last I heard, he was being terrorized by a kid who beat him up and chased him out of school yesterday screaming bedwetter at the top of his lungs. Any idea who that was, Jared?" He looked at me as if I were a criminal. "You know, lots of people have spent years helping Tyson overcome a miserable childhood, and what you've done may have destroyed everything we've done to help him." Green gave me the evil eye for just a moment longer. Then he sat down, pulled a gold pen out of his shirt, and began to write. "I want you to take this note to your 7th period teacher. It'll excuse you from class. I'm also giving you a list of the classrooms in which each member of the Shadow Club can be found during 7th period. I want you to get them all out of class and bring them to my office so we can settle this once and for all." He handed me the note just as the bell for 7th period rang. "And I think a talk with all of your parents tomorrow is in order as well." I turned to leave. "You have 10 minutes. I'll be waiting for all of you. If you don't show, you'll be in even deeper trouble. Don't worry, you can trust me." "Can I?" "Of course." By the way, if you're getting in trouble with the principal and then he gives you a pass and says, "Go get all of your friends so that I can yell at you together," what would most kids do?
Not do it.
Yeah, that's what I would think most kids would do too. That's either a very trusting or very dumb principal. He's like, "Go get your friends together so I can yell at them, and here's a pass so you can walk around the hallways."
I wouldn't do that.
So,
Why would you? You would get in even more trouble, and it would just be even worse.
well, that's because you're thinking like a smart kid. But think about like the bad kids.
I wouldn't.
Because I know what my mom would do.
I wouldn't discipline my friends.
The principal would just call them up.
True.
Right. I wouldn't be attending. Like,
If you look at that break on page 157, that's where I'm stopping with you. But I am going to tease you a little bit with Brovicast. So here's what we have coming up. Not that. So, how many people are in the Shadow Club?
7.
Right, so you're charging you points because you're on camera, right?
Oh.
Yep, thanks for your points. Stuff again. So, how many people are in the Shadow Club?
You could charge
7.
Yeah, that's why you can't go on camera. And how many do you see there?
I came to ask you a question.
6.
Someone
Nice
got
one.
it.
So we're missing one there. And that brings us to, there's also no fire. And then, how many Shadow Club members there?
6.
5.
No.
Counting is hard. They should put that on the ice step.
Yeah.
And so
Wait, so-
5. So we've lost 2 Shadow Club members. And then we're going to get to this scene. And so that one, that's Shadow
That's
Club
5.
members.
Oh.
This is someone else.
Tyson.
And then this. And then that's going to come into play.
Again. Those are the dolls.
And then this.
Boy. Oh, why is he crying?
Are they drowning him?
And then
No.
this
Oh.
is not Austin. And there's another scene. And then
That's Randall.
we will talk about end of book on
Wait,
Monday.
so what page are we on?
Where did we end? Brovicast, how many?
What page were we on?
In the middle of page
157.
47.
157.
Oh, 157.